What's going on, everyone? Vampyr Gaming here, and we might be absolutely cooked, chat. So, not too long ago, I made a video kind of talking about underrated cards a little over a month ago. If you've seen it, you know, but here we are now, and yeah, people are trying to sell Signature Luffy. I do think this card was incredibly underrated because, again, Gold Roger, just all he did was laugh and die, and he was worth a lot more. But this, and then also Super Pre-Release Luffy, which has actually had some sales in this upper amount. Not that I can say I agree with this price, but it's really begun. I think like Pokemon money's here and whatnot. But on topic of these, there's also just this, which made no sense to me when I saw it. But while we're talking about singles, let's go ahead and jump to a word from today's video sponsor, Buyouts. If you've ever bought Japanese singles, you know they can be drastically cheaper than their English counterparts and a great way to fill collections. They aren't for play, but they are perfect for your collection. Buyee is a service I've used to get singles, and by using Buyee, you can buy anything from Japan. They place orders or bids on items for you, and they're shipped directly to their warehouse and then shipped directly to you without any middleman, price hikes, anything like that. You can shop Rakuten, Amazon JP, Yahoo Auctions, and my favorite, Mercari. If you're looking for cheap Don, exclusive promos, or just economical options for some of your favorite cards, this is a great option for you. They have over a dozen shipping methods, and if you want to get 10% off of your purchase up to 5,000 yen, you can use the link in the video description to sign up, and so you can save 10% up to 5,000 yen on any purchase you make. And let's get back to the video. All right, and jumping back in again, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for 10,000. I couldn't have done it without each and every one of you, so it really means the world to me. If you're not already subscribed, you could just do me a favor, click that subscribe button, and we're going to go ahead and talk about Sanji. So Rayleigh is in an interesting place right now in OP13. He's like almost good enough, and he sees some results, but Sanji is also not reprinted in PRB, whereas cards like Tashigi and whatnot are. It was kind of expensive and has slowly found its way back down in terms of price. Same here with like the Zoro. You'll see this card was like very expensive, came back down. I don't know, I'm just browsing, but Sanji's one of those cards, not in PRB02, so if you're looking for this somewhere down the line, you need PRB03. I would recommend picking these up around right when OP13 starts. Every set kind of gets cheaper whenever a new set is released, and then I think it's just kind of worth it to have the playset just because we know it's not in PRB02. So if you want them in a reprint, you're possibly waiting PRB03, and this card has been relevant, and Rayleigh, of course, has been relevant throughout. So just something to kind of keep your eyes on. Now, again, we're kind of talking OP03, so there, of course, is EB02 Yams, Rams, and this card, I think, is honestly super overpriced. One, because we're about to have Bandai Card Fest Dallas, and every folder comes with an alternate art version of these. The leader collections that they sold never sold out during the events, like ever. And they also had the order online later down the line where people could order them online on Premium Bandai. So I think there's one going to be a gigantic flood of these at one point. But then two, people are back and forth between this. I've been very vocal as to how I feel about this in the deck, but a lot of people are leaning towards Jozu right now, and of course Jozu is a great card to kind of pick up. He was very expensive, still kind of is. There is one listing here for pretty cheap, but already a $4 rare and isn't really even seeing that much play. So something to kind of just have on your radar. Go through your bulk, find your old play sets. You might be sitting on gas money. Just a huge card here. And then I don't know, I don't think this is in PRB either, but I'm not 100% sure on that one, so use that as you will. Here, we'll actually just find out really quick. PRB02 Jozu. Yeah, I don't think Jozu's in PRB02, so he's block 2. So at least 2027 worth of play. And he's always come up in formats, but now being OP08, already 4, about to be 5 sets out, and 2 whole blocks away, that's when these rares can kind of start creeping up. I was going through my rares to find mine. And then, of course, we have Cavendish. Cavendish was confirmed as a reprint in the Let's Play deck, and he's also in PRB. I would literally sell these yesterday and the day before that, and absolutely right now. I mean, people are still buying them. $23 is a fantastic price. I was going to sell mine at $50, but I wasn't 100% locked in that I was going to play Rayleigh, and here we are playing Rayleigh for Bandai Card Fest. Send me all the good vibes. But yeah, so I didn't sell my Cavendishes. Still more than what I paid for my Cavendishes. That's how expensive and how long this card has been expensive. You see here, like this, it's back to December, 9 months ago. So the price was 9 months ago. So if you bought it any time before here, you still have made money. So I would sell these expeditiously. They're in the Let's Learn to Play decks. Learn to Play decks are quite expensive, but it does come with 2, but it's also in PRB. This card shouldn't be more than $5 by the time it's all said and done. And then, of course, shout out Austin Yost for 486 sales in one day. No. We see Atmos, one of the alternate arts. Atmos and Jozu both rising in popularity. Big fan of Atmos. Big fan of it in both blue Ace Newgate, and then, of course, in regular red-blue Ace on the rise. Decent card. Lets you, of course, negate your opponent's previous turn effectively if you go second. And kind of just helps clear out any blockers, anything like that. But it's jumped up tremendously. All of these premium card collections at some point have had a card that spikes. This, of course, was $2. You had Paradise Waterfall that became $15. Just so many different cards that have just drastically increased in value. So they feel like never a bad buy overall. I mean, they pick really good cards. Stussy, Stuss Bust. So I actually think Stussy's still quite underpriced just because... And I would buy, like, if me personally, if I just had in balance unlimited, I'd probably just buy as many of these as I could for $2 flat. Just $2 flat. Just because, one, the 5 unks are incredibly popular. The 5 elders, if you will. But the 5 unks are incredibly popular. It's an incredibly consistent deck. And they're playing Stussy. Also, Sabo is playing Stussy. Stussy is becoming incredibly relevant in any black deck once again. With, of course, we go into a top-end meta. This is the best top-end removal card that exists. That isn't Rygo, which is banned. But I have a bunch of these. Full disclosure. I just Stussy, Vampyr makes sense. And yeah, I mean, I bought a ton of them, an unhealthy amount. So take my word for what it's worth. But in the context of, so let's like this is still $24, right? And then this is unobtainium. This broke my heart. But we look at Newgate. So actually, I would buy these expeditiously if you can, because this is the cheapest one, and the next one's $3. And so Newgate Taxbeard is actually very expensive. Is $3 a pop, whereas Stussy is only $2. And Emu is arguably more represented than Red Blue Ace, but it kind of ebbs and flows. But we're also not even in that format yet, so people aren't even really buying these. People are just know, and so we should see huger spikes. I think each one of these, not financial advice, could be $5 respectfully. So, play that as you will. I had a bunch of these that I've pulled. Shout out OP08. And they're finally actually becoming worth something. And then I always thought Stussy was one of the best removal cards in the game. It's only good for top end, though. I played it in Lucci, so I just bought a ton of those a long time ago. And hopefully get to cash that out. But yeah, I mean, this actually I would rush. Run, don't walk. But yeah, Taxbeard is more expensive, and they're both arguably like older, like OP07. This one's actually older and 500 years into the future. Let's see if this works. Booster box, 120. That's not too bad. They were, I feel like, kind of higher. and perhaps, but 2 Legends is quite cheap overall, and everything in it just got reprinted. So it's still like I paid more than this for my booster boxes, so a little bit cheaper. So this is a bit harder to get. And you look at like Newgate. So this Newgate 2 I think has a lot of potential. These at $1, you just absolutely love it. Keep in mind there's 2 printings of these, so be careful. And this is more of just like operating under the assumption we're never going to get the Roger promo until 2030, just because that's how North America works. How are we supposed to have global release when we don't have even have global release promo? We ain't even playing with the same promos. We're literally just not playing with the same cards. I digress. Newgate, very strong pickup if you don't own any. I would think it is the best time to own a playset. It was a PRB reprint, which means it could make the limit list, or what is it, the block list. So it could make the block list get an updated block number like block. I want to say it might be 3, because PRB, EB02, I guess. No, PRB02 is block 4, so maybe it's block 3, and that'd be a huge update. But so potential 2027, 2028 worth of play in this card. Not guaranteed, but not having been reprinted in a long time. And then, of course, that being in PRB01, which has been increasing drastically in price. And then we have one of the oldest, the second oldest set that will probably just not going to be opened again, and leaving quote rotation soon, so they'll have 0 reason to reprint the set at all, like the Bandai Card Fest and whatnot. So be interesting to see what boxes they offer there. But yeah, Newgate, it's $1. I'd buy as many of these as I could for $1. Again, there's 2 printings, and yeah, I also own a ton of these because I literally have played so many red decks, and I just bought 4 of them every time. So do with that what you will as well. But to the point, so this Newgate, of course, OP02 all. I don't think I actually own one of these anymore. They've kind of gone up drastically over the last little bit here. You can see they were selling at like 30, 30, 20, 30. So like they were just in September earlier, very cheap. On the rise here, of course, again, this is a set exclusive alt art. We look at like Stussy. So both these cards potentially playable. Do with that what you will, but this is an older set. People are for some reason buying a bunch of stuff, so if you would like to play alts, might not be a bad time to own this guy. Now, again, I always try to give you guys like a little treat. Like, this just doesn't make sense. Literally doesn't make sense. So Zoro is on the rise once again. I actually am probably going to go ahead and probably like buy some of these, because I opened one illustration box. I was screaming illustration box because this card's $9. The fact that this card is more than a textured foil is crazy. It's crazy, but this is also incredibly cheap right now. $5. This card, oops. This card is a 4 of in Zoro. We get a Zoro in PRB and a Zoro in OP13, I believe, that are both like technically playable targets, but there's a new one, I think, in OP13 that gives you back 2 Dawn. So for 1 Dawn, you get 2 bodies. Good deal. Great for Rayleigh. Great for so many different things. But yeah, this card has also kind of been rising in popularity in Zoro now, but incredibly popular come OP13. It is a 4 of. If you think you're going to play Zoro, which has been seeing a lot more success, it's part of like the new big 3. Rogers kind of found his way out, and Mihawk has found his way in. You need these. And at $5, I mean, this card was so expensive. I mean, this card was literally so expensive. For a structure deck card, it was $13, and then we got the illustration box for a lot of relief. It went down to $6, and now it's already back up here, which is crazy. This one, like, probably even after this video, maybe not, but once people realize, yeah, I mean, I'm literally gonna buy mine as soon as I'm done with this. But as always, if you found the content of value, if you can do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Check out Buyee. Shout out them for sponsoring the video. Link in the YouTube video description, and I will see you all in the next one.